happening, everybody? I'm back as me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my review for Season 1, Episode 10 of Stargirl on both the DC Universe and the CW. And if you ain't seen this episode yet, come on back, because there will be spoilers. Man, I'm glad I finally got this done, because this is like the third take of this. I've had issues with the camera and computer, and I was trying to make sure I had it done, and, well, hopefully we work now. I just want to start off before I say anything else about this episode. This arguably is one of the greatest episodes of this series, but of comic book TV I've seen, and I hold it in high regard up to the first ever one-shot hallway scene in Daredevil when it was on Netflix. Every week I praise how this show is shot, the cinematography of it, because it has a more movie feel than anything. And this episode delivered on that heavily. More specifically, I'll just go in details. I'll jump around with it. The scene in the Dragon King's lair, that fight with Wildcat, Henry, and Stargirl versus all the drones in the Dragon King, that shit looked like a movie. You cannot tell me anything else. It didn't look like any other comic book show that we've seen. Hell, it didn't look like any other action or drama show that we've seen on regular television. Like, that is so dope, and I think I keep bringing that up. That is one of the things that scares me about the migration to CW fully. Now, I know it'll probably shoot in Atlanta, because I think that's where they're shooting already. But the budgetary thing is what comes into play. Like, will that budget for that type of style still be allocated? Because, like, this shit just looks... The story is good. I understand. I read a lot of the comments. I read a lot of people saying they didn't like the way how it's taken Courtney so long to become a leader. Where I respectfully disagree, because I like the fact we see her having to build up. She has to learn. She has to understand. She's so headstrong about it. She's so gung-ho about, I'm trying to follow in my father's footsteps. I'm this hero like him. And so she wants to make all these decisions. And so she keeps fumbling along the way. And I think that is a great story we're telling throughout all this. Like I said, some people disagree. I see it in the comments. You could. But nonetheless, the way we're being told a 13-hour story, 14-hour story, 13-hour story with this entire show is like, it's crazy. To find out in the beginning that Brainwave's wife was Mary Pemberton, who's Sylvester Pemberton's Starman's sister, which technically makes Brainwave Jr., Henry Jr., and Courtney cousins. You're like, what the fuck? And it's a nice little twist. It's a trope that commonly happens, but it wasn't played. It wasn't one of those, oh, yeah, I saw that coming. Because I personally don't think I did. I don't know if anybody else actually saw that coming. I like the fact now, this is going back to some people have been saying in the comments. Again, I read all the comments every week for the reviews. I'm sorry I can't get back as fast as I like to, because I'm trying to do a million different things. That's why y'all should join the Supervillain Squad and join the Discord in there so we can have these conversations immediately. But I'll tell you about that later. Now we're at the point, is Starman really her father? Because you see the discussion that Pat, Barbara, and Courtney are having, right? And at one point, Courtney shows the picture, was like, that's Dad, right? And she was like, Starman is not your father. And I'm like, wait, is she trying to say that dude in the picture is not your dad? Or like, because it gets confusing, like, or is Starman actually her father and she's been trying to cover it up for Courtney and her father, tried to hide it to keep them safe? Like, there's so many questions to be answered within that. The fact that we see Barbara send an email to Sam Curtis that says the subject, your daughter Courtney, like, we need to talk. We're in Blue Valley. And you're like, wait, was dude always alive? Like I said, was he hiding to protect his family? Did he come here to be safe? Did he know the ISA was eventually going to try to migrate to Blue Valley? Things like that. And I think it's very, very interesting to see how that is all played out. The fact Barbara kicked Pat out the house, like, you need to get the fuck out. Like, he was being honest when she said, was that really a car accident? And he was like, no. Now, here's the thing I was kind of confused. And again, I know it's a TV show. I know it's a story, a comic book story, but let's just play devil's advocate for a second. Boy, ain't that the statement of the year now. You found out your daughter wasn't in a car accident. How did she get hurt? She was fighting a legit supervillain who was whooping her ass. Wouldn't that change your entire perception if you were told that though? Like now you believe all this superhero shit is real. Again, unless you know the situation, you've heard it with your former husband, her father, and you just don't believe it. But that was a moment. I like to say the cosmic staff is badass. Like it went out the case, out its crate, came upstairs. The Courtney was like, "Yo, we need to go." And she told the staff, "Nah," and the staff went dead ass to Henry Sr.'s room. And soon as it saw Jordan, it blasted him because now you have that correlation. The staff knows that's Icicle. The staff knows Icicle's responsible for, according to the tape that Brainwave left, Mary's death as well as Starman's death. And when the staff tries to blast Brainwave, he just stops it. And Jordan So Cold just walks up and touches it and freezes the staff where it can't do nothing. And to see Henry Jr. caught in the mix of all this, like he knows the ISA is bad now, but he's been watching these tapes on his dad. And the last tape he sees after his dad wakes up and not remember 10 years of his life is that his dad was almost being pulled away from the ISA because his mom tried to see good in him, which we find out later that'll flip. I like the fact that when Henry and Courtney have this realization they're relatives, Courtney tries to go use the other JSA to recruit them to help all with the situation. And of course, Yolanda's going to be like, no, because of the history they have. He ruined her life. You know, he made her a pariah in the school, but technically, see, he made it because the pictures were hers, but it wasn't technically her. It was Cindy who did it. You know, and I get what people are gonna say. Well, he had the news and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I get that. I get that automatically. But then Rick is like, yo, he the enemy. When Rick tried to man up to him in the cafeteria, was like, yo, you know what I'm saying, I ain't dealing with your punk ass. And then Henry was like, hey man, sit down. Rick like, make me. And just blasted him across the thing. But then when Yolanda says, you chose him over us, we're not friends anymore. I think Courtney would have been best at that moment. I don't know if it was in the script and it was taken away or if it could have been added to this is my family technically now. I just found this out. So I think that would have helped a little bit, but the fact that the team was still like, we're going to do this anyway because we know you're going to do it without us and we'd rather you have backup, which was cool. And then Rick still proves to be who he is. And I think that's if anybody out the JSA is going to die, I hate to say it this way, I would see it being Rick. A lot of people think it'd be Beth by accident or like Rick causing Beth's death. But I think Rick trying to be headstrong because again, when they were going to the tunnels to the Dragon King's lair, him and Beth split off. He ends up seeing Grundy's cage. Now, first of all, you see this big ass, giant ass, thick ass vault door with the slits for the eyes way up top, and the eyes are up top, and you just hear this grunts, and you think because you got an hourglass for some strength for 59 minutes and 58 seconds from the time you turn it, that you can whoop its ass and kill it. Like that is a recipe for disaster. And like Beth is like, yo, this ain't the plan, and he like plans change, and that's how you see people die. That's the headstrong. That's that headstrongness people need to bring up instead of Courtney's. Let's talk about Rick. I understand you want to avenge your parents. We get it. But that's the same thing Courtney wants to do, avenge her father. You know, Yolanda's just trying to cash out her anger. That's why she doesn't, that's why she enjoys being Wildcat. She gets to be violent and let out this rage and be a new version of Yolanda that she wasn't before. What I had in there? Yeah. Oh, by the way, Barbara was a goddamn thug when she recorded that conversation when Jordan and his parents came in. It's a goddamn thug. Now, I'm gonna lie, I watched that scene twice because I wanted to see when exactly did she push the button on the phone to start recording, like how slick was she? But, again, suspension of disbelief. I think that was dope. Going back to the fight in the Dragon King's lair, that fight was amazing, like I said, and I'm glad we finally saw the Dragon King's face. I'm glad we finally saw it. And the perfect thing happened when you see his face. He should have got blasted this shit like he did with the Cosmic Staff, so I was perfectly cool with that. I like when you see Henry Jr. standing up to his father, because at first he's trying to bring him back, and his dad like, yo, this is who I am, blah, blah, blah. And then he just blasts his dad, and you start to think for a hot second when you see that, maybe I'm wrong, you think, is the son actually more powerful, but he just doesn't know how to use it yet? Flash forward, they're running out, they're all trying to escape the tunnels. Brainwave blocks off the tunnels, and Henry and Rick kick them all out. and he confronts his father, and he's telling his dad like, "Yo, I love you. I know you can be better. You know, mom was trying to get to you before they killed her." And then Brainwave was like, "Yo, they didn't kill your mama. I did." And you could see that moment in the face of Henry Jr. Like, to that character moment right there when you have to play where you have anger, despair, fear, rage, all of those things. And one you probably want to look at. I'm trying to make sure I got his name because I want to make sure I say to give his name credit. I know some of y'all are typing it right now, but give me a second. It is Jake Austin Walker. Yo, that level you see in his face, because now he's a whole different kid. All throughout all of this, he's a different person. Like, he's more beat down emotionally because of everything. Remember, when we first saw him, he's the jock. He the man. He running the school. He big shot. And throughout it, he's broken. He's battered. He's beat up. And he feels alone. The only person he had was his dad, who he thought didn't love him and all this stuff. He finds out he has these abilities. And then to find out that his father killed his mother while he's going through everything else completely crushes him. And it makes him conjure up all these rocks and mini boulders and shoot him at his father, who shoots him back and knocks him the fuck out cold. And here you got a moment I was like, this is not about to happen like this. This can't happen. And you get him bloody nose and all looking at Yolanda telling her, I really am sorry. I truly am. Like, he's kept apologizing to her. And to her, it was just empty words. And of course, she's angry. She's pissed. She has every reason to be. She doesn't have to accept that. I get that. But when he is given that and he tells Courtney, you're right, people are good inside. You know, there are really good people. Like, don't ever think they're not. And his father drops the whole fucking ceiling on him. Like, we can think in cases of many other cartoons and comic books we've seen where people who have telekinesis and telepathic abilities, they're able to shield themselves in a shroud of psychic energy. Again, we've seen Brainwave do it to stop the pellets, to stop the cosmic staff, but Henry hasn't developed that yet. So he doesn't know how to, cocoon himself with that energy. Like, he just got smacked, and the faces of all of them, because Beth is stunned. Like, she's enjoying the being a superhero, but when shit gets real, it is a reminder to her how real things are. Courtney's just in complete disbelief. Yolanda breaks down because what we find out is no matter how much she hated him, there was a part of her that still loved him. She was so mad at him because she still loved him. She tried to just fully hate and forget everything. And to see Rick even break down, and it was just like, holy fuck. I give this show a rating every week, and you guys know that. You can tell automatically what I'm giving this one. I've been high on this show from jump. Like I said, my fear is when it migrates to CW, will the budget and the look change? Again, when Supergirl migrated from CBS to CW, the look changed. That was for the better. I agree. However, this is already the better look. So what do you expect it to do? Make you a little nervous? I'm here for it. I'm a fan. I love it. Like I said, the storytelling. Now, you know what I feel. I want to know what you think in the comments below. Now, let me challenge all y'all to something real quick. If you don't like it, some of you all do this, and I appreciate it. Give the reasons. And here's why I say that. When you leave a vague, I like it or I don't like it, it just leaves stuff open. It's open to interpretation, so we can just pick out anything. Or if you say one little thing and you don't back it up, it's like it doesn't add meat and potatoes to the, don't add side dishes to the entree. So do that. I want to hear that. I want to know how you feel one way or another. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. My Supervillain Squad on Patreon, I mentioned earlier. Patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. So, when you join the Patreon, automatically you are a producer throughout all my content, and you're a producer of the Mad Titan podcast. Because without you, if there's no you, I'm not doing all this. I don't be able to get the equipment to pay the bills I need to pay to be able to keep doing this. So I am grateful for you all. But also, once you join the squad, you get to join the Supervillain Squad Discord, where we can have these conversations, but there doesn't have to be a delay in response. It's like instantaneous. It's like Twitch or Facebook just for the squad. So if you want to go over support and join that, please do. My Cash App, Venmo, all of those are down below. If you want to support, again, I am so grateful. I do this to try to make money, honestly, now, because as a bouncer for work and with everything closing back down in Los Angeles, who knows when I'm going back to work. So it's been very frustrating, to say the least. Check out the Mad Titan podcast everywhere you get your podcast from. I get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. It is barbershop talk for nerds, so come on in that convo with your boy. And check out Blurs in the Hood every Tuesday live, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. on the East Coast. Myself and Winston A. Marshall. We have a great time, y'all. YouTube.com/Blurs in the Hood, Twitch.tv/Blurs in the Hood. That's BLERDS, the letter N, THEHOOD. All right. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy. I will holler at you next week. Till then, take care. I'm out. Bye.